So today is Tuesday and I am not at work today because I kind of decided to quit my job. I tried everything to try to calm my mind and like my emotions and try to make it to work yesterday after, battling with this intense anxiety for like 2 weeks. Had my husband drive me at 4 in the morning for my 5-hour shift. The minute that we got to the exit of the freeway for my job, I lost it. I broke down, I started sobbing, I started panicking about literally everything. I panicked about being at work, I panicked about getting in trouble for missing so many days, I panicked about my husband driving back home when it was like primary rush hour traffic. Like I started thinking like, what if he gets in an accident and it's my fault because I made him drive? Like literally that's how my brain works sometimes. Sometimes it's like even the most irrational things, like the most bizarre things that could happen, but the probability is very small, like my brain thinks about and it obsesses over it. Even right now I'm like getting anxiety talking about how I felt yesterday morning. But basically I was in the parking lot sobbing with my husband for about 15 minutes or so. And by the time that I calmed myself down enough to basically drive back home, like it was already 5:10 and I didn't call before my shift. So at that point it's like, what's the point of calling? So I just wrote them an email. I wrote an email to my HR manager and basically explained the situation. And at my work, if you don't call and you just don't show up for your shift, you're basically suspended for 3 days. And instead of having to go through that, my husband just told me to quit. He told me like, you might as well just quit because you can't keep doing this. You can't keep missing work and then letting them down. Like they might as well find themselves somebody else that can actually handle being there. And I understand and I agreed, and yeah, I quit my job. And even though I'm embarrassed by it, like I feel like I basically failed myself. I failed my husband. I know that I didn't. I know that I'm not doing this like forever. I know that this is just temporary and that I'll get myself back up and I will find another job. Because I mean, there's lots of jobs out there. I totally understand that. And it's not like I left my dream job or anything like that. I left the job that was good, that it helped me through, some hard times. But I feel like now is the time for me to actually focus on my mental health and healing, most importantly, because even though I was trying in the last year, I feel like I wasn't really giving it my all because of my job. It also messed up my sleeping schedule for months. I am going to be pretty much just taking care of myself, trying to rebuild a relationship with my faith, because I feel like that's helped me in the past. Like feeling, God present helps a lot of people, and I feel like that's kind of what I need right now. I need some sort of hope, and I do want to start working out on a regular basis and kind of just form a new schedule for myself. And also I need to start eating more. I know that sounds weird, and I know that you might think like, oh, you look like you eat enough, but in reality, it's not that I eat like horrible. Like I eat pretty healthy meals, but I'm really bad at eating. I go long periods of time without eating, and obviously that affects your mental health. And everything that you do in your life affects your mental health. Yeah, I need to have a little bit more discipline with myself in that aspect as well. So I'm making myself a smoothie right now because whenever I don't feel well, like emotionally, it affects my stomach really bad. It like pretty much curbs my appetite, and it just makes me feel really nauseated, and like the thought of food makes me feel worse. Like it makes me feel even more sick. So because I know that, well, my therapist has basically told me that I have to eat, like even if I don't want to, I basically have to force myself to have something in my stomach, because I guess that'll help with like the natural production of the happy hormones in my brain. So whenever I know that I have to eat, but I know that my stomach is just upset and it does not want to eat, I make myself a smoothie. What I've been basically trying to put in my smoothies is a mixture of greens and like fruit and also yogurt, because this is on the list of things or foods that are supposed to help with anxiety. And I get whole milk Greek yogurt, organic, because the whole milk is actually the one that has the most omegas and like other nutrients that are good for your brain. So I basically add that to my smoothie. I'll also add milk to it. Again, I'm using whole milk. I'm not necessarily being like on a diet to help lose weight. Like obviously, yes, I want to lose a couple pounds, but for the most part, I'm like on a better diet because I want to help my brain. And since I do know that whole milk, like I mentioned, it has the best benefits, that's what I like to drink. Obviously, if you don't drink milk, then you can substitute it with something else, but just try to like find a different way of taking in those vitamins and nutrients that your brain needs. But because I'm really bad at taking vitamins, I mean, I'm starting to take vitamins, but I'm pretty bad at it. I try to incorporate them in my food as much as possible. I also added kale and spinach. Spinach is also on the list of foods that are good for stress and anxiety. And then for my fruit, I have some strawberries, mango, pineapple, banana. And then I have a couple slices of beets. Honestly, it does make it a lot easier for me to consume food in liquid form. So that's just a tip. If you are the type of person that can't eat breakfast or can't really handle food when you're feeling anxious, try a smoothie. So it basically creates this really creamy pink drink. It's actually really good. I will say that the taste of the beets and the kale is pretty strong. So if you don't really like the taste of, you know, your greens, then you can obviously add a little bit more fruit. I have literally walked around my entire kitchen to try to find the best lighting, and this is not it, but this is where I ended up. But I just finished recording this makeup look today, and it actually felt really good to sit down and play with makeup. It's honestly very therapeutic. When I was talking to my doctor about how to cope with anxiety and depression and that sort of thing, she did mention that I should do things that are only for me, things that just like kind of calm me down. I did mention to her that I really like doing makeup and that it makes me feel good about myself whenever I do it, and it just kind of calms me down. It puts me like in a different headspace. So that is why I'm continuing to try to make videos about makeup. But anyway, I just finished doing this makeup look, and since it's already like 4 in the evening now because the sun decides that it's nighttime already, I'm gonna go ahead and make myself a protein smoothie because I am still struggling with eating, unfortunately. This is pretty much the ingredients to this smoothie that I have been having lately. So I do use 100% grass-fed milk because it does have the most nutrients in it, and it's also less cruel to the poor cows. I do add my protein, which is actually hemp protein, and this one actually has 11 grams of protein in it. So that is the main reason why I decided to go ahead and pick this one. The ingredients are basically just high fiber hemp protein powder. That's all that is in here, and it is non-GMO. I like to add collagen peptides to my smoothie now because I am getting older and I do need it for my skin, hair, and my joints. So that is the one that I have been using. I actually found this one at HomeGoods for a reasonable price, so yeah, this one has good ingredients as well. And then for a little bit of flavor, I like to add organic cocoa powder. This one has magnesium and vitamin C, which is also important. Everybody should be taking vitamin C to not get sick, but magnesium is also another sort of nutrient that is beneficial to people that suffer from anxiety and depression. So that is why I like to add this to my little concoction. And the ingredients in the back are literally just organic cocoa powder. Serving size is 1 tablespoon, which has 1 gram of protein and no sugars. So that is why I like this one. To be completely honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the taste of the hemp protein because it does taste very earthy and just kind of like intense. So I like to add a little bit of honey to kind of sweeten up my smoothie and make it a little bit more tolerable to drink. And for this smoothie, as opposed to like my veggie fruit smoothies, I do like to go based off of the servings and everything because I want to get the most out of them. I'm obviously taking them not only to actually have food in my stomach, but I'm also taking it for all of the beneficial nutrients and vitamins that they each have. So I'm doing a cup of milk, I'm doing 1 scoop of the collagen peptides, I'm doing 4 tablespoons of the hemp protein, and I'm doing 1 tablespoon of the cocoa powder. And for honey, you just basically do it based on how sweet you want yours to be. I usually just do like half a tablespoon. That's pretty much what this smoothie ends up looking like. Blending the milk kind of makes it a little bit creamier, which is kind of what I like. But I forgot to mention that the milk, the hemp protein, and the cocoa powder, I actually found all of those at a pretty affordable price at Walmart. But the honey and the collagen peptides, I did find those at Home Goods. Both of those were actually at the same Home Goods store. So in case you were wondering where you can purchase that, not anything super expensive or something that you wouldn't be able to find easily. Watching some vlogs. One's from Nicole Guerrero. I love her and her vlogs. They always make me laugh and feel good. But I just wanted to show my dinner today. It is salmon, asparagus, and some roasted potatoes. Both of these, salmon and asparagus, are actually on the list of foods that help anxiety and stress. So not only is it good for people that are trying to be on a diet and eat yummy food, but it's also beneficial because the nutrients in them help your brain. So obviously that is not a very realistic what I eat in a day for most people. It's not even a very realistic what I eat in a day for myself. But I just wanted to go ahead and include this video as an example of how you can incorporate those key ingredients from the website that I'm gonna go ahead and link down below. This website was recommended to me by my therapist. She gave it to me kind of like as a guide of what kind of foods I should be incorporating in my day-to-day diet so that I can continue to battle those stress hormones and the anxiety that I keep having. Obviously, she didn't tell me this is all you can eat and this is what you should be eating every single meal of the day, but it was just kind of like a nice little guide telling me like why I should be incorporating these things into my diet. And obviously, if you do your own research, you'll see some of the benefits of each of them. When I actually have an appetite, I obviously do have regular meals. On weeks when I do have my anxiety at its peak, it does help to have my nutrients in an easier form. So hopefully this was beneficial to you and you got something out of it. Like I mentioned, you should definitely check out that list of foods that is good for people with anxiety, just to see how you can incorporate them in your own way. Like some days I have granola with blueberries and I'll eat them with my Greek yogurt, kind of like a bowl. And then other days I'll have like protein pancakes. I'm pretty sure I've shown them in my videos before. But pretty much what I'm trying to do is cut out foods that I know trigger certain stomach problems that obviously affect my head. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to include this little part in here because I don't want anybody to yell at me for not eating enough, but that's the whole point of this video. But hopefully this was beneficial to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next vlog or video.